Okay, so the past couple of hours have been extremely volatile in crypto, with, for example, here, XRP being up roughly 7% or so in the past, 5 hours here? And there's a lot of speculation that this right now, to the entirety of crypto really, is all happening because the non-farm payrolls are going to be coming out in roughly 2 hours from now. I believe by the time I upload this, probably about an hour and 30 minutes. And most likely this will be a big event for our coins, so it's definitely something you gotta watch out for, as this tends to be something the macro, or I guess the traditional markets move on, and people are afraid that if the numbers come out in a negative way, that traditional indices might then fall down ever so slightly, and cryptos were falling even though traditional markets were up, and some are afraid that that might be a little cascading effect of sorts. So if you want something to watch out for, I'd say the non-farm payrolls coming out 5:30 p.m. Dubai time from right now about 1 hour and 40 minutes is something interesting to watch. Having said that, when it comes to XRP, one thing that's become quite apparent is indeed this quote-unquote downtrend that we have witnessed over the past couple of days. And now there are multiple ways to kind of chart this in to kind of showcase what the price has been doing. But one thing becomes quite clear, it's been downwards with really no stopping, at least for a significant amount of time. But there comes your next point. As it currently stands, we've got ourselves a little resistance to break through, but the moment that it does, I'd say the $2.50 mark or something around that level would be very interesting again, because that would basically, again, we have this like shorter term downtrend that you can see right here started about 4 days ago or so that right now we've already broken through, but kind of like a little bit of a longer term, even though that's also only just about a week or so, has yet to be broken. But again, it might do so over the next few hours, probably depending on what comes out of these numbers. If you're wondering, non-farm payroll measures the number of workers in the US, except those who work in farming, private households, nonprofits, and sole proprietorships or self-employment, as well as those who are active military service members. So people tend to like to look at this basically to sketch out the employment situation, as it basically showcases how GDP, or general growth, let's call it, is looking. People basically use it to identify trends in economic growth, inflation, housing starts, and gross domestic product, all of which affect the movement of financial markets. So again, it tends to have a overarching effect on broader markets. And I mean, over the next week, we've also got ourselves a couple of important dates to put on the calendar, as we've got on Wednesday, the core inflation numbers coming out, or general inflation as well. And obviously this will be an interesting one. I think it's just going to remain the same. As you can see right there, you can't perfectly see it, but it says previous 2.9, forecast 2.9, most likely nothing will change. But if it does, it usually moves the market. Core inflation going down about 0.1% or so. I wouldn't consider that too big of a deal as of this point, but maybe all of a sudden, maybe there's going to be some panic over that. Who knows? A little side note, if you're also interested in trading cryptos, I've got a couple of links down below to platforms that you can use to trade, like for example, Blofin, or WeX, this one right here. Both of them probably work from every single country in the world. If Blofin doesn't work, try out WeX. And there tend to be nice bonuses as well for signing up. But just anyway, links will be found down below. But anyways, seeing a lot of this news and the market moving slightly upwards, but just moving again, reminds me of the idea that when you really start looking at the fundamentals of things, selling here sounds kind of odd to me. Regardless of the macro stance, I mean, even on a macro perspective, things are moving quite well there. Why is crypto so negative? And it keeps getting back to the point of there's no real good reason to buy right now. That's what most people are saying. And again, I keep repeating myself by stating, if you can't name a couple of very good reasons to get really excited here, maybe your dopamine receptors have gone on a complete tangent, because the president of the United States launching a freaking Bitcoin ETF, he launched a meme coin just now. Yes, some of the most beautiful things are behind us, sure, but doesn't this set a beautiful precedent? Doesn't this just open up a whole new chapter of craziness? That's the way I see it, but I think let's just agree to disagree. As well as the fact that so many US cryptos have probably still not gotten their time at all yet, because Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has reportedly been named as a top contender for a key role on President Trump's US Crypto Advisory Council. The fact there's going to be a Crypto Advisory Council and people are saying there's no real good reason to buy anymore, I just want to quickly make clear that regardless of what happens right now, ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited for the medium term. And again, I keep repeating you, there's a lot of people who say, oh, but I don't care. Let them all speak. We all know where we're headed. Most likely the end of the year is still going to be amazing. People will have different journeys. Some will take tons of trades and basically make small profits along the way. Some will only hold one right coin or a few right coins and make it big. Do whatever, float your boat, whatever works for you. All I say is I am still very excited, and I keep repeating it, that if we just keep, in my opinion, right? Not finished advice. If we keep on buying those freaking dips, it will usually work out just fine. So that is exactly what I'm doing. And I remember that these numbers right now look very bearish, right? You're gonna look at them thinking, Dusty, you are about 40K down or something like that. Why are you not sad? Why are you laughing still? Well, first of all, we've been through way deeper freaking pits. This is nothing. But more importantly, because I know where we're headed over the medium term. At least in my belief, it's all just temporary. And I could buy significantly more right now, but I still keep in the back of my head that, hey, maybe there's another flush out still happening because the fear is so high. But if we sketch it out from a longer term perspective, I think we're completely good. And that's basically what I'm waiting for right now. For the tides to shift, for some of this pain that's been reflected on the market to be over, because ultimately, if we take a look at the end of the year, most likely we'll still double, if not more from here, over the entire crypto market, but maybe even just way higher numbers. I mean, the freaking president is launching a Bitcoin Plus ETF, a Made in America ETF. Man, how can you get bearish here? I don't understand it. Anyway, what I think is happening is the money right now in the short term is moving from the consumer hands, the usual hands like yours and mine, to institutions who don't really care about the sentiment on the short term as much. They don't care about all the charades, all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's moving around. They buy as a proper hedge or for longer term reasons. And I kept saying, I don't think this cycle we're going to see any of the major ETF issuers have a crazy sell-off. That's basically what's going to cause the real cascade of the bear market, when a lot of the funds who are buying in for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, instead of the ones who buy in for basically perpetuity, who just have it as a accumulation of capital or a multiplication of their capital, basically. Some of them are also going to be medium-term speculators who might just sell after a few years. Once we see that massive sell-off happening, that's the moment where you should actually get proper scared. But as at this point, if the funds, for the most part, are all still holding and mostly accumulating, with some down days, sure, but mostly still it's going up, that, in my opinion, means that generally speaking, the bigger money is not yet afraid. They don't think we've topped out yet. Or they, again, keep showing us that it's still probably a wise idea to stick around. And again, I keep just reiterating that in the back of my head. Right now, if you focus on social media, it looks as if this is so bad. It's all so worse. But I can tell you right now, every crypto cycle has its own flaws, its own benefits. And people like to always complain. So right now, there's a lot of people saying, this is the worst bull run ever. While meme coins and pump fund went crazy. We have the Trump, president of the United States launching a meme coin. Now, there might be less money-making opportunities, but again, that's also just because they're different. Before it was every single altcoin you buy just goes up, but maybe that time of this run still just hasn't happened yet. And I can't fully compare the 2021 or 2017 cycle in the sense of, was it always this negative as well? Because I'm telling you right now, for example, in the 2017 ICO boom, you know how many people just lost money time and time again on ICOs? For a lot of people, it was a fun time and it was crazy all around, sure. But I'm saying that that's probably the same right now for some people who kept going into memes, just how those ICOs bloomed back then, or the DeFi stuff in 2021. But I think the real crazy period, what we also saw in 2018, basically the start of the end of 2017, which again was just a few month time span, really, could still be happening, maybe even at the end of the year. So just be a bit patient. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Just quickly reporting on the fact that these numbers are going to come out in a little bit over an hour, about 1 hour and 30 minutes. So stick around for that. And make sure, if you've not done it yet, that you put that notification bell on so you never miss out on another crypto update.